Definitely gotta put that live.
I think Anthony was like, we want you to infuse a little bit of like Yoda in the character. I'm like, okay. Yes. Search for the Soul Stone, you must, yeah.
Without honor. Oops!
Papa! Papa angry! Papa! Papa angry!
Ready for a hug?
Do not.
Coming in for the hug. I challenge you all to a duel. Pick your weapons. I pick the mine.
Get out of here, Q! No, we are done with random stuff today. We're not dealing with any of your Q bullshit.
Oh, see another power source. Hey, if we could miniaturize an arc reactor... Oh, that's a dumb idea.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Organized Chaos. My name is Bobby Quarters. With me, as always, is Bob. Bob, how are you doing?
I am absolutely exhausted. How are you doing?
About the same.
Yeah. Bobby here has a minor event in his life coming up, a marriage.
Yes, later at the end of this week.
Yeah.
So I've been running the gambit on the final preparations of all of that. That's, making a bunch of gift bag gifts for visitors, final purchases of beverages for visitors, and coordinating all last minute fun.
Yeah, it's
not bad for the third go of it, but hey.
Third go of it?
Oh yeah, we originally were going to get married in June of 2020, and we had to cancel. So we originally kind of set it around June of 2021. Cases really weren't what we liked or at the beginning of the year, so we were just, you know what, let's just push it back to fall, and we'll be good.
Okay.
So we had to lose in that we lost the original venue,
of course.
which was that was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Had to drastically cut back numbers. Now a lot of people can't make it because of the change of dates or didn't understand the way we did it. So it's just so minimal, but it's so nice. Just gonna be out in our parents' backyard, nice afternoon, and just nice and simple.
Yeah,
we're done. Ironically, the easiest part about all of this was getting the marriage license.
Oh, I was gonna say booking the venue.
Yes, but that of course was easiest. But surprisingly, marriage license was the easiest. In, out, done. I honestly think we spent more time going through security checks than inside that office.
Wow. I don't remember the marriage license being a huge deal, but I don't remember it being super smooth like that. So, maybe they changed it.
It's kind of a big deal if, I think with COVID it was a lot easier because we just went in and filled out an online application, and as opposed to us going in there and filling out all that information then.
Because that's what I remember doing.
Here's our names, here's our IDs.
Yeah.
No, yes, sign here. Okay, you have a great day.
Online marriage license.
I don't think $65 has ever left my wallet faster and went into the pocket of a beer crack quicker.
There you go.
In all honesty, yep. So we got a lot on the docket today.
Yeah, and we're a little slow, so bear with us. I have less visuals for this podcast, so you people who are listening, you're missing a lot less. We still have stuff. We're going to have a little bit of Nightmare Fuel. Yeah, you're not missing as much.
Quite terrifying nightmare fuel at 3:30 in the morning
Yeah,
as well.
it's not something I've actually noticed, but I did. Oh, well, I didn't mean to click on that.
Spoilers.
Yeah, tired. But yeah, it is something I actually know how that shot popped up and why it's there. I just didn't know there was something where it was so clear. So yeah, I can explain
that had to
shot.
have been from like the Blu-ray rip of it.
Probably because there's lots of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff there's still a lot of old VHSs of mine, like when I was younger, that I still own, and I still have a working VHS player.
Well,
and I'll still watch some of those movies, and some of them I own on DVD, or I even own a digital copy. Now with the older movies, I think like the VHS kind of like added a lot of natural shadowing to the picture, so it kind of hid some stuff. And sometimes they clean that up with digital transfers. Sometimes they try to, and then you get Reptile in the Blu-ray version of the '95 Mortal Kombat, and he just kind of looks like one of those like old late '90s 3D music videos. Yeah. Yeah. This is a case like that.
Yeah. Go. Oh my god. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes. Oh yeah, that I remember. I wanted to bring up Star Trek, the original series, because just a little quick aside, because you throw out how like there's the older version and they aren't expecting it to get cleaned up quite so well. And yeah, if it's the most obvious is if you watch old Star Trek, because they cut so often to stunt doubles. They are clearly stunt doubles, and obviously they're just like, oh, it's gonna be a little blurry. You can't tell in the old style. But now they've all remastered it, so now it's clearly just stunt doubles in similar dress.
Hey, didn't that red shirt die last episode?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of that too. No, it literally like there are shots that feel like Kirk goes to fight Khan. Now 2 men in similar outfits are fighting.
Man, Shatner wore some bad wigs, but jeez.
Well, was he wearing wigs back then? I think weren't the wigs the movies? Maybe.
Yeah, I think the wigs were definitely. Yeah, they were definitely the movies.
Yeah, I think it might have been wigs then too. But his hair
I'm
went
pretty
straight
sure he wore the girdle
curly.
for the entirety, though.
Yeah, it's going straight to curly is kind of a telltale sign.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the girdle though, that was a constant.
Oh, girdle was definitely series and probably movies too.
A series. Oh, it had. I mean. I believe in the suspension of disbelief when watching a movie like that, but there's no way in hell I'm believing he's climbing that mountain in Utah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm with bones on the ground going, yeah, no, he's fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
That is probably my favorite part of that movie, just how mad Bones is at him.
Yeah, God, that movie sucks, but yeah.
It's so bad, but that part is like, oh... It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, that part is you're all with Bones. It's like, what are you doing? No, get down.
Let's look at the positive here.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's a little chubby and climbing a mountain. I'm sure that'll go great.
Oh, don't worry, Spock will be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's and it's all downhill.
Very spotty screening.
We're not talking about that Star Trek movie.
No, we got
today.
That.
We are going to talk about your fun weekend expedition at the Cincinnati Comic-Con Expo 2021.
Yes, that is why.
We're also. That's why Bob is. Looks like he got hit by a truck.
No, man, this is what happens. You work 40 hours. And then you get the weekend off, but you gotta cover this Cincinnati Comic Expo. And it was fun, and it was awesome. And I want to stress that. Man, sleep is not coming. You're doing
anytime.
You do get a half day on Friday and Sunday there, but like Saturday's a full day.
It's kind of how it is for music festivals.
Yeah. It starts early on Sunday and ends early. Starts late on Friday and ends late. And Saturday's just all fucking day. Yeah.
It goes late on Friday.
Yeah, it goes late on Friday.
And that's how I felt the last week. Well, I think we didn't record last Monday because that I would have been like, hey, Yeah, stuff and things.
But yeah, the Comic Expo, it was kind of a fun little adventure. Got to stroll around with my press pass and feel a little important and stuff. But yeah, the first day was kind of just getting the feel for it. That was the day we got an interview with just a vendor, comic book vendor, representing Phat Daddy's Comics. I guess he just goes around to cons largely, and that's a lot of his business.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So does he sell books and prints, or just books?
It's largely just comic books. And but yeah, he had some interesting information. I think the interview for that just posted like an hour ago. But
what did you say the name was again?
Phat Daddy Comics.
Phat Daddy Comics.
Yes. And wow, I'm so tired. I'm sorry. High energy. I almost made a coffee right before this. Maybe I should have.
You should have.
Yeah. But yeah,
or
the interview
maybe had like a Red Bull.
Yeah, the interview went well. I do want to say, like, that was one of the interviews where it's not a debate, but one of his big issues with comic books is how, in his words, are getting less wordy. And it wasn't a debate, but in my mind I'm kind of thinking, yeah, but they're using the medium more appropriately, I feel like, more now. Like, one of my complaints, if you ever read, like, Chris Claremont and, like, Dark Phoenix Saga, which we'll get to later, because I actually went to a Jim Shooter panel. Yeah, that thing's like a fucking book. You could cut the pictures out of Dark Phoenix Saga and still pretty much get 95% of your story just reading the damn thing. And that's kind of an issue for me, because it's like, I feel like artists need to trust, or writers need to trust their artist quite a bit more. And I feel like they're doing that at least better now. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rules. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. But yes, that was pretty much Friday. It was getting the feel for it on Friday. Saturday was the big day. We talked to a cosplayer, Ødfel, I believe is her name. She has fucking amazing costumes if you ever look her up. Holy shit.
What's the name again?
Ødfel. I believe it is an Elder Scrolls reference, because when I googled it, that was my other result.
Okay. Well, we should put some links in for these people.
Yes. Well, I have the video up on my channel. I have links up there.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll definitely also include links on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's all stuff I'm putting together. So all this stuff is gonna come to my channel. This is kind of like my journal log on what's going on. And it's not high energy, I know. But yeah, no, she was actually really nice and awesome, and yeah. And then what did we do? Oh yes, Vampire Foxes from Space, which is a short film. I believe it was. I don't know. I haven't gone over the footage yet, so I don't know where he shot it. But just looks like a really cheesy B short film.
You had me at Vampire Foxes.
Yeah, I know. It looks
so
delightfully cheesy. It looks like it could be fun. I haven't seen it, but I have an interview for him coming up that I still need to cut together. We talked to the artist, the guy who did the artwork for that, and the guy who produced it and put it together. I think he said he produced and edited. I assumed he directed, but I don't know if he said that.
Okay.
But yeah, that looks like fun. Let's see, and then I think after that it might have been the Felicia Day panel, which was fun. She totally allowed recording, so I'm putting that together as well. That's one of the things I noticed. I didn't see a whole lot of cameras floating around that place, so I just grabbed a lot of footage. But yeah, that was really cool, and we're coming up on the story. Because my daughter wanted to ask a question, but it was a Saturday, so it was busy. We got huge lines of fans, and she never got to her question. And I was like, well, do you want to go downstairs and talk to her? And my daughter was like, yeah, I still want to ask my question. And I was like, you know what? I'm a Felicia Day fan. I'll go ahead and get her autograph, and my daughter can ask her a question. So I got So, yeah, I went ahead and paid probably too much money, got her autograph. And then...
Is that the Mystery Science Theater?
Yes. I actually forgot she was in Mystery Science Theater.
She is.
Yes,
she was
she
in the revival for
yes,
2 seasons,
she
and she was so freaking delightful.
Yes,
and just
she was
so
awesome.
I mean, how could you not just adore her whenever she's on screen?
Well,
For
yeah,
real.
no, it's one of those things where, like, I primarily think of her from the Guild anymore. Because the Guild, when I watched that, it was probably a few years after it came out, but I was, like, just getting over a heavy WoW addiction when I watched that series. And I, like, connected to that series so heavily.
So it just hit so close to home.
Yes, it's so kind of fun and just dorky, and it's like, God, I understand these people entirely too well.
Now, admittedly, I watched The Guild after the first season of the revival of MST3K because I saw that she was on. I was like, oh, hey, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked her in that. I'll watch this. And after maybe the first 3 or 4 like little quick like spurts of it, I was just like, yeah, this is kind of freaking just awkward and dorky, and I like it.
Yeah,
and it just got so funny.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, Will Wheaton's a dick.
I was about to say, I love Will Wheaton as like the evil guild leader. Oh my god.
I loved it.
I loved him as a dick. Relishing it. But yeah, it's the guild that connected with me. But then I saw the pictures. I didn't really like the stuff they had for the guild, and I was like, oh my god, she was in Mystery Science Theater. And my daughter was even like, hey, she looks like the one from Mystery Science Theater. I was like, yes,
she is.
Yes, she was, and I forgot. So I got her to sign the Mystery Science Theater thing, and my daughter asked her a question. We're talking for a few minutes, not super long. And she talked about, I got so and so project coming up. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? If you ever want to talk about it, I got a podcast and a channel. Here's my card. And she was like, awesome. I'll look into that, and I'll tell Joel about it. I thought you'd be interested in that one. I don't think anything will come of it, but it's like,
I don't, but yeah. Ooh.
And just in case you don't know, watch Mystery Science Theater. We're talking about Joel Hodgson. He's the guy who created it. I think he's just showrunner now, although I think he occasionally does cameo bits.
He's definitely like head executive.
Yeah.
Well, like in the 2 seasons on Netflix, every time that they would send the movie up to him, there'd be a guy saying "movie in the hole." Like, that was Joel saying that.
Oh, really? Nice.
The first episode after it launched, I was watching it and I heard that. I was like, that voice sounds really familiar. I can't place it. But I think it was just more me excited to watch the new brand.
Yeah.
Which I did love. I enjoyed it. That first season was really great.
Yeah.
The second season was good.
Yeah, I don't recall the second season as well, but that first season was amazing. I don't recall disliking the second season. And I
didn't dislike it.
I was like waiting for season 3, and all of a sudden I'm hearing, oh yeah, Netflix canceled. It's like, Netflix like approves everything. Why the fuck would they cancel this one?
you fools.
What the fuck are they thinking?
I don't know. But hey, I know that there's talk of them launching their own streaming service.
Oh, what? Mystery Science Theater?
Yeah. Their own platform.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That'd be... Stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, I know Rift Track seems to be trying to make a move in on YouTube. I don't know how that would work for Mystery Science Theater.
They have a lot of stuff that's you could watch for free on Amazon Prime, and they even have their own channel on Pluto TV. But there's also a Mystery Science Theater 3000, and they play a lot of the older episodes. But I've caught like one of the newer ones just on there.
Yeah,
and I'm just watching, going, "Wait, this one's on here?
Yeah,
holy shit, it is on there."
Nice.
Okay. What's on Rift Tracks? Ooh, Batman and Robin. Yes.
And in case you don't know, Rift Traps is essentially an offshoot of Mystery Science Theater done by Mike Nelson, who was the lead guy in Mystery Science Theater for like the second half of the original series.
the second half of the original, and it also has the other two people who were the main stars, because a lot of the voice cast left shortly after Joel did, just to pursue other projects.
Yeah.
People who took over, like voicing for Tom Servo, originally was Kevin Mullen, I believe, or Jeff Mullen.
It don't ring a bell, but I'll believe you. You probably know it better than I do.
I think it's Jeff Mullen. I think I could be wrong. I probably am. But anyways, Kevin Murphy took over for him, and he voiced Tom Servo up until the newest. And the guy who took over for Trace, I'm going to say this wrong, Trace Burdell.
Yeah, something Bellew.
Bellew. I'm going to say it wrong, and I really don't mean any disrespect.
I know, absolutely no disrespect. He's fantastic.
Him and Frank are just, God, they're so fucking funny.
Yes.
I'm just a fan of dry deadpan, and they are really good at it. But Trace, he had left the show, and Bill Colbert took over as Crow T. Robot, which is the voice of most Mystery Science Theater fans associate with Tom and Crow.
Yes.
Those two voices. Jim Mallon, that's his name. It is Jim Mallon. I'm like 80% sure now.
You know what? That, like, you say that, and I visualize it, and that looks right. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But all right.
But anyways,
speaking of puppets, speaking of puppets,
the
next thing we're going to get into right after the Comic-Con, or after we touch base again on it.
Well, yeah,
will be. Or would you say that we just kind of covered it there?
Well, that was probably the biggest event. But yeah, Sunday we went in, we got a lot more interviews. That's where we saw Ross Marquardt, I believe his name's pronounced.
Okay.
We got to see some of his impressions. He does some great impressions. He's from The Walking Dead. And he is the new Red Skull.
Oh, like he was the guy who played and who did that like spot on.
Infinity War, Endgame, and the newest episode of What If, or not newest, but the
or the one of
the first one, honestly.
Yeah.
But he did.
That wasn't Hugo.
He legit did some great impressions. He actually, I have total footage of him doing Yoda as Red Skull. If Soul Stone must trade a soul, you must. I can't do it as well as he did. You're gonna have to see the footage. But
what would it be more like?
He did it like
since I've done a Yoda impersonation. I mean, I could try a Yoda. It's been a while.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, I did want to touch on Katie Cassidy because we went to her panel, and that one, it's worth noting. Like, it's totally up to the person whether or not they want to record. But instantly, I'm there to catch stuff, and the guy walks in. Okay, first of all, there's no recording on this panel, and it's like, yeah, it's their choice, but it's immediately off-putting. It's like, really. What do you think is gonna happen?
True.
Yeah, and
it is up to the entertainer.
Yeah, it's totally up to them. So
star.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest. There was nothing. She did nothing wrong. I thought it was a little weird that she did the whole thing double masked. I will say that, but
okay.
Whatever. Like everybody else.
Good choice.
Yeah, no, everybody else took off the mask for the actual thing. I know Ross Marquand made sure to sit on the other side of the couch. So there's definitely 6 feet between him and the interviewer. But yeah,
that's good.
I mean, it's her choice. Here's the thing. I don't want to criticize somebody for being too safe, but like I've done so much stuff on COVID about, kind of, obviously I think COVID is important. And when I'm looking at you and going, maybe you're going too far. Maybe you're going too far.
Well, and there's a certain amount that, you could do of like, I guess, I don't want to say psyching yourself out a lot, but, just you could build it up to be and freak yourself out about it so much to the point where you could be cautious. And that's great.
Yeah.
And you could take it a couple of steps beyond and you're seeing going into a store in a hazmat suit.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we got to place limits, guys.
I haven't quite seen that, but I did see a kind of all like nylon plastic bodysuit. I did see
I have
that.
not seen that one.
That was early. That was
Mm-hmm.
early days of it, and they had like the shot like the dish gloves
Mm-hmm.
on, and like the big old painter's respirator.
Yeah.
I'm just standing there with a bandana.
Now I will say this: I
This
did see
is all I could have at that point.
after we went home on Sunday. We got wrapping up a little bit. We did a few more interviews. We talked to a couple art people. Here's My Design and Chalk Girl.
Okay.
And those will be coming up on the channel. And we got the guy. I totally forgot the Jim Shooter panel on Saturday. He was like the head guy at Marvel. I know it was during like Dark Phoenix Saga and stuff like that. It was like when X-Men really took off. He was the head editor behind a lot of that stuff. And he talked about how like during his time is when Marvel took off, and the biggest thing he pointed out was like Marvel's taking off, and one of the people working for him came to him and said, "Oh my God, I just got this huge deal on one of our characters. We're gonna make so much money. It's Wonder Woman." And he was just like, "That's not one of our characters. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
We can't do anything with that. But yeah. Oh yes, but we got the interviews done on Sunday, and here's one of the things I did think was actually kind of clever, because when we left, I did see Katie Cassie walking down the street, and she was obviously still double masked. And I was like, okay, I see why you'd be double masked here, though. Because when she did it, like, you can't really recognize her. The only reason I was able to quickly recognize her is because she did the whole panel like that. But yeah, no, I just thought that was fun. And it was a lot of fun. I know I'm low energy right now because it was a big fucking weekend and no rest for the weary. And so it's hard for me to be like, ooh, it was exciting. But it really kind of was. It's totally worth checking out. I'm going to have videos coming out the whole week about it. So we're going to get a whole bunch going on here.
All right.
But you did bring up puppets earlier. So
yes,
clearly we are going to
puppets.
talk about Lower Decks and...
Yes, we're going to talk about the 1990s comic book movie.
Yes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Rewatching this. Well, do you want to go into a little bit of the comic books before we start, or do you just want to talk about the film?
Oh, yeah, no, I can go ahead and talk about you know the story. It's not actually even a very deep story, but I do want to kind of hit on, because I actually have, it's over there, I'm not going to dig it out right now. I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel, Volume 4. It's old. It's from my childhood. I want to say, I don't know the year it was released, but it was definitely from the era when the comic books were, not all the turtles wore red, and there weren't really distinctive personalities, which was a failing of the comic books, but they were also a lot fucking darker.
Yeah, and this is before they had that craving for pizza all the time.
Yes. But, let me know if this sounds familiar. That graphic novel is about Leonardo. He's on a rooftop. He's suddenly attacked by a whole bunch of Foot Clan.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a whole bunch of turtles...
I mean, it kind of sounds familiar, but yes.
They're getting ready for their Christmas celebration at April's apartment. And they're just kind of hanging out, having fun, having all these little things going on. Meanwhile, it's cutting between this and Leonardo fighting for his life, trying to get away from the Foot Clan. Sometimes he gets a leg up on them. Most of the time, he doesn't. Most of the time, they get a leg up on him and start beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, kind of familiar.
Eventually, Leonardo's thrown through a window, and there's all the other turtles, April and Splinter, and they get into this huge fight at April's apartment, which eventually breaks down into this antique shop down below, where they continue fighting. A fire gets set, and then they escape to April's cabin, and the rest of the graphic novel is spent at April's cabin. Does that sound familiar at all?
Now, this antique shop, did April own said antique shop?
I'm pretty sure. I don't recall it being mentioned.
Okay, then yeah, it kind of sounds familiar. There's some stuff that
there are details that are wrong, but man, it's like right there.
Yeah.
It's obvious
It's
what
as
they're
if they
doing.
actually pulled. It's actually as if they used the source material as the foundation for this. And that's what I think makes it great today still.
I have
Yeah.
issues with this movie, kind of mainly on the technical side.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bash on that too much because for the time period it was fucking amazing. You know?
I mean, for 1990, those animatronic suits, those are actual people in those suits doing all that. That is incredible for 1990.
Yes.
And when was it they filmed this? Like, it was between 80s, I want to say 80s.
It had to be the late 80s sometime.
And that's still very impressive that these stunt guys are just, they're rock stars.
Yes. Well, I'll go ahead and just tell you what is kind of great about this movie. This movie takes the personalities of the turtles from the cartoon, except it goes ahead and it adds the rebellious personality to Raphael, because I don't recall that before this movie.
He was just kind of hard-headed in the cartoon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he's just very similar to Michelangelo, just kind of like one of the dudes, as I recall. Not quite the same, but here he's like full-fledged rebel.
Yeah, here he is just like, I don't give a damn.
Yes. And honestly, this is the movie where kind of Raphael kind of took off. Like, he's a lot of people's favorite turtle now, and
because of this movie.
Yes, it was because of this movie where they did that.
Yeah. Him and Donnie. It's a tie between him and Donnie, really.
Yeah, it's Donnie for me, but I will say this: Donnie in this movie doesn't really get much of a chance to shine, other than they got the stunt casting for him. Yeah, I was about ready to say the stunt casting with Corey Feldman for his voice.
And this is it this one or the second one where it's actually Corey in the suit?
Oh, I don't know if Corey was ever in the suit.
I mean, I'm sure he was for a photo, but
yeah, probably.
Actually, I don't mean that. I have nothing against the guy. He's I don't mean to take
I have nothing against him. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. He might be a little. He's a little out there, though.
He's definitely given it his all for his music career. I'll say that.
Yes.
I mean,
is again, that what that is?
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, it's a hell of a thing to watch.
He's doing a lot better than what he could be.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't want to be too harsh on him. He's happy, man. I mean,
and if memory serves me correctly, I believe he is sober and has been for a while now.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah, and I can't imagine being thrusted the way he was so young into like the spotlight, and so for as so many of those people unfortunately turn out, he's doing great right now.
Yeah. As
horrible as that may sound, I don't mean it that way.
He's a character.
He is a character, indeed.
So
he doesn't. But the character Donnie, you're right. He really doesn't shine that much in this film. He's kind of more of an extension of Michelangelo.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, there's lots of butting around between him and Michelangelo, which was really kind of Raph's role in the cartoon.
Yeah, because in the cartoon, Leo was more kind of like Raph, stubborn and just like, go, we should just attack. And Donnie was more like, well, there's a logical way we could do this.
Yeah.
Let's use our own tech against them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the creators like, okay, we can give you turtle suits. They're going to work pretty well, but we are not giving Donatello gadgets, goddammit.
No, we're going to wait until we turn him into, another day.
Yeah, well, I'm going to assume you're going for the Michael Bay ones there, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those ones are good. I mean, they're great Turtles movies, just the Turtles themselves kind of look like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff to be said about
They're
those
great
movies.
Turtles movies. They just,
Well, I think
just look like shit.
yeah.
It's distracting for me.
1990 is a Turtles movie is so much better.
Way better Turtles movie.
Oh yes.
Still in 2021.
Yes.
A movie that thoroughly entertained me countless times as a small kid. Entertained me as an adult.
But
there's a lot of it like I picked up on it that I don't even remember from the last time I watched this, which was probably 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't remember this from like the 4 or 5. I don't remember the score being just so fucking awesome.
That's right. I meant to actually see if that was on Spotify because I wanted to actually just like listen to it because that score is actually really fucking good.
Crap.
Yeah.
Especially the stuff when they're in the country. All of that is just like, wow, this is just fucking moving.
Yeah.
This is a Turtles movie.
Yeah. No, I don't. Actually, it might be on here. Score. The score was really fucking good though. I don't think it's on here. And then
in the sequel, you know, we get Ninja Rap.
Oh, we're not there yet.
I actually did learn how to play it on the bass, and the fact that it's about 3 separate notes, I decided that I'm not going to be having it plugged in and play it when I say that.
Yeah.
So I just, boom, that was a sight gag that I spoiled there.
Yeah.
I was going to do that, but then I saw, like, wait, that's the whole song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not worth it to have a bass on me this whole time just to wait until I say that.
Yeah, my brain's mush. Yes, but what my previous point, like I'm talking about how we get the character. We're supposed to be chatting.
Yeah, we are.
We're chatting. But yes, this is like you get the Turtles' personality from the cartoon, and you mix it essentially with the darker stories from the comic book, and that is kind of a brilliant fucking mix. It's probably the best interpretation of the Turtles ever, save maybe Donatello. But
yeah, minus that, and it touches like with the family aspect, which is always very heavy throughout. Like it was heavy throughout a lot of the graphic novels. I'm not that familiar with the comics, but I have read a small chunk of them. Like I had read the one that you were talking about. So yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
kind of a weird way, but also vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
And I also had one that was done in a similar style, but pretty much it was the graphic novelization of the second film.
Ooh.
But not as campy. This one was a little bit more violent. Same story.
Well, yeah, I remember that was part of the issue with the second one. Like, I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I don't even recall them ever using their weapons in that one, which was just like...
they had them.
Yes, they did have them, but...
First, but Mikey always had the nunchucks in both hands, and I think he used yo-yos instead.
That's right, there was a yo-yo thing.
The scene is like one of the only times that they use the weapons at all. And in the third one, they hardly even do any real fighting at all. It's all the human people, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember.
I have a confession. I've still to this day never seen the third one. I've never sat down and watched it.
Well, have you ever watched the live action Turtles series?
No.
With the girl turtle.
Yeah, the girl turtle. The turtle.
I believe her name was Venus.
Oh.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, Venus with the boobs.
Yes.
With the turtle shell boobs.
Yeah, that's hot, guys. It's great.
In the half shell.
Oh baby.
I don't mean to sound misogynistic. But
yeah,
well,
no, they gave her boobs, and
they gave her boobs. Yeah,
I hate to tell them this, but humans are the only species where females have boobs all the time. other races don't do that.
Yeah.
So why does this turtle have boobs? Why does this turtle...
Well, I mean, now you're just breaking history of like years of Warner Brothers and Walt Disney style animation.
Yeah.
Because there was at one point Goofy did have a counterpart, but they just decided, no, fuck Goofy, he doesn't deserve a wife, and we've never seen her. And there's a kid now.
Yeah. He's a single father.
Yeah, I think since we were probably kids is when his kids started showing up in the Disneyverse.
Yeah.
Like, that was about the time, like, what? Loop Troop movie was 90s? Mid-90s, early 90s?
Yeah. God,
Michael Jackson and Prince were still super relevant, and Pauly Shore, so I'm going to say early 90s.
How dare you say
Power
that?
Line.
Pauly Shore is forever relevant.
Oh, no. And the greatest, the most underappreciated comedy of the early 2000s is Pauly Shore is Dead.
I've actually not seen it, but yeah, you're gonna hit on all the stuff I haven't seen yet. Although, yeah, Turtles 3 was kind of obvious.
Yeah, Turtles 3 is just absolute shit.
Well, it looks so bad, but
well, they evolved the characters throughout all of them, and they kind of just they always kind of said it was like the Batman suits, like they kind of improved them with each movie. But no, the way they looked in the first one was the best.
Yeah,
they will ever look on film.
Well, yeah,
and one thing I found really great about this, and this is something I noticed a lot more watching it, and maybe it's just because I've kind of done some more study on film and photography, and movies and film and all that, and I noticed like the use of shadows in this. It's done well and it helps tell the story, but there's a point when they just transition out of it as they reveal more, or as like we the audience get to see more and more of the turtles. They use less and less of it, but the lighting is still pretty much the same throughout the whole film. It's something like little stuff like that, things that build to the environment. Like, I don't think there's only a few scenes of New York City during the day.
Yeah, no, it's almost all at night, which
it's almost all at night. Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I imagine it's also kind of a cheat to help cover up any of the seams in the costume. Which, that's obviously that there's nothing wrong with that, because I mean these costumes look absolutely amazing. And in fact, I would even say like it's kind of frustrating, because I'd say one of my issues with the movie is a lot of the fight scenes, you can tell they have limited movement. They'll be set up to only be able to do a certain move at the time.
Somebody has their leg up and they're going to spin them around.
Yes. And it's for the time it was great. But it is one of those things where it's like, man, wouldn't it be great if they could I want these suits as much as possible, but wherever there's a little bit lacking, do a little bit of CGI. And I feel like too often it's either all one way or all the other. And it's like, no, do these suits and then just enhance with CGI. Don't replace with CGI, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, don't. Just if you can, enhance with it.
Yes,
or if you can get it better practical, go all practical and go all in with practical.
Yes, exactly. Like
that's but no, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you have to CGI an arm to do a move, fine, but don't CGI the whole fucking turtle. I don't feel like it's asking that much. I don't know.
And they don't. Well, I guess this is also going to be another dig I have against the Michael Bay version of it, is that they have personalities for a reason, and it's mostly that they don't need accessories with each one.
No,
I can tell which one it is. That's why they got the color bandanas and the different weapons. But
no, they need accessories, dude. They need accessories.
I guess. That's something I kind of hated about the character design, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, you mean it's like whenever they would release those whack line of Turtles toys, and they have all this shit from and then it's all the shit you never see.
Yeah, all the extra toys
movie,
and shit you could attach to it.
Shit, or they say it's going to be in the movie, and it's shit you never see in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That always made me mad as a kid.
Well, I mean, to what it's worth, I've seen both the Michael Bay movies, and I couldn't tell you shit about them. I remember they had Bebop and Rocksteady in the second one.
And Crane was in there.
Yes.
It
and there
was
was
cool
a Sky
to
Beam in the first one.
Yeah, it was cool to finally see Crane.
Yeah.
Him, I'm not surprised he was CGI. It would have been real cool if they tried to make him practical. They could have called the BBC. They do some great practical effects.
I'm trying to remember.
Doctor Who.
How'd they do Shredder? Was Shredder CGI or was he just a dude?
He was just a guy.
Was he? God, I
He
don't
was just
remember
a
Shredder
man.
in that
He was
movie
just
at all.
Well, I know the first one, they let it up the whole time like it's going to be William Finchner, and you'd think it would be William Finchner, the way that they framed all the trailers, the way that they set up his character in the beginning of that movie. The whole time you're thinking, okay, cool. William Finchner's the bad guy. Awesome.
That's
and then
right.
the real Shredder kills him, and it's like, oh. I mean, cool, but
well,
why did we just go through all that?
The story behind that is that was William Finchner.
It was. Yeah.
It was, but they got the bad press, so they changed it really quickly with reshoots, and so that's why it's the way it is.
And they didn't think, okay.
You know, rather than go with what would be the logical story, they decided to listen to fans, which is like, guys,
fair.
No.
I get it, and especially in the day. But at the same time, you gotta let somebody have a little bit of leadway. You gotta loosen that leash a little bit. You gotta let a creator be creative and tell their story.
Yes, and I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't really remember that movie well because I didn't remember that plot aspect until you brought up. So I don't know if changing it really ruins it. But
debatable, I'm sure.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have made it better, but
well, no, I don't think it would have made it better. But I mean, he is a good actor.
Oh yeah, no, he was.
I mean, I really enjoyed him in Equilibrium. He's pretty much great in almost anything he's in. I can't think of a bad movie he's ever been in.
Well, speaking of actors, I have to ask you, did you recognize this guy?
Yeah, that's fucking Billy the Kid, Mr. Sam Rockwell himself.
Yes. Sam Rockwell plays
but Justin Hammer,
yes.
A young baby-faced. Look at that.
I want to say, I meant to look it up. I want to say he was like 18 when he did this or something like that.
I want to say I've read that, and I read that he had gotten the part, just his agent just told him to show up.
Yeah.
You don't know what you'll get, and he originally was just supposed to be a background character, but the actor who had to say that line wasn't there. And they just kind of pulled like through the extras, like, hey, anybody want to say this? Yeah, I do.
But yeah,
that is what I understand.
Yeah, no, it's like a cool little Easter egg. I mean, nobody knew, but yeah, he's cast. His name in this movie is Head Thug.
Yeah, and what's funny is I think when I rewatched it like 4 or 5 years ago, I was watching it and I heard that voice. Like, why does that voice sound so? Because I had watched Moon recently.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, why does that sound so fucking? Oh my god, it's Sam Rockwell.
Yep. So he was
at that baby face.
Probably 21 when he filmed this. It was.
Yeah.
He might have been 20. Actually, he was 21 when this came out, so he might have been 20 when he filmed it. But yeah.
Maybe 19 when he filmed it.
Jesus Christ, he was so young. He's Head Thug. Such a huge role. He's actually in a lot of the Foot Clan scenes, and he's largely the forefront.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
There's even a scene where it's the Shredder, and he's like you have a couple of the Foot Clan members in the background, and he's like center of them, out of focus, but you can still clearly recognize him.
You can still tell it's him there.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, and I'm not. It's not like, oh wow, he really made the movie, because he's not in it really, but
he's not. He's featured.
It's a really cool little fucking Easter egg. Just obviously unintended. It's an Easter egg that generated later, because like, holy fuck, it's Sam Rockwell.
Well, yeah, and watching this, it made me want to go back and watch some older movies that would have came out in this like early 80s, late 70s. Before a lot of the actors that we're very much familiar with and that are well established now. I watched the first Death Wish movie starring Charles Bronson, right?
Okay.
Just real quick synopsis. Some street thugs attack Charles Bronson's wife and daughter and kills his wife and leaves his daughter traumatized. He decides to become a vigilante killer and trying to kill the guys who do it. He doesn't find them, but he goes out and takes care of other street thugs in New York City in the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just pretty much cleaning the streets. All right. One of the thugs that originally attacks his wife and daughter is Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my god.
Very super young Jeff Goldblum. And I mean, there's some scenes. There used to be a GIF floating online, and I cannot find it anymore. But it's a scene when they're in the grocery store where they're they're stealing some food and they're staring at the couple, and he is just doing gross things with his tongue towards the mom and daughter. And that is what the GIF is of him just doing that with his tongue over and over. But it's also Jeff Goldblum doing it. It's kind of the perfect GIF.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that.
And in the second one, babyface Lawrence Fishburne is in it. Plays a member of a gang who they clearly didn't get a message from any gangs in New York. So, Charles Bronson moves his daughter out to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the same thing happens.
Of course.
This time one of the gang members is a young Lawrence Fishburne, but he goes by a Larry Fishburne.
Yes, yeah. We have a couple early movies where he's Larry Fishburne. I know he's Larry Fishburne in Class Action. I know there's other stuff. I'm brain farting, but yeah, Larry Fishburne.
but just because of this, and you see a lot of these young actors in some of these kind of weird and wouldn't expect it movies. And that's something that, well, I'm sure it always happens because, young actors will get whatever work they can.
Just a side note, if you haven't YouTubed it yet, everybody just needs to YouTube the interview where a newscaster congratulates Samuel L. Jackson on the great job he did on The Matrix. Oh, he goes off on him, and it's great. It's one of those things where it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, Ninja Turtles is really good. It's not, like I said, I think my biggest issues are a lot of the technical aspects, which I don't want to get too harsh on, because at the time period, oh my god, this is so good. It just, but
sorry, my best man texted me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna segue into another technical aspect that you actually shared with me that I didn't see.
Okay. Nightmare Fuel.
A little bit Nightmare Fuel. So, let's see. I moved in here, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, yeah, it's one of these guys. It is. Oh boy. So right now we are looking at is that Donatello? Sometimes the colors get off on the picture. But yeah, there we got Donatello with a face in his mouth. That is not terrifying at all. No, everybody's gonna, if you watch the video, you're gonna be sleeping so well tonight, because that is not Donatello, as we all know, famously from Turtles lore, eats people, and he's in the middle of eating a person at this point, and you just kind of see his face in there. He's hungry. He needs to eat. You can't judge him. You cannot judge him for that, and it's delicious. No, but actually speaking of the technical aspects, it's been a while since I did the research, but to my understanding, we have the guys in these suits, and the way they actually saw out the suits was not through the eye holes, but through the mouth. And what we're seeing is just the seams of that. They're opening the mouth too wide. They're not clearing it out properly, and we're essentially just seeing some dude's fucking face in there, just as he is eaten by the turtle.
Well, you see, some could just think that he's trying to operate the mouthpiece, but in reality, what that man is doing is, can we go in on that? Get that close up. See, he is screaming for help there.
Let
It's a
me
cry for
go.
Help me! Start the reactor.
Start the reactor, Quaid. Oh, yeah, that's something I'm not gonna lie. I didn't notice it, and Bobby brought it up to me right before the podcast. And I was just like,
I was like, yeah, the
oh,
nightmare fuel shot. And
oh
you're like,
my
what nightmare
god,
fuel
that
shot?
thing is intense.
It's just ironically, that was my reaction when I read your text. Like, what nightmare fuel shot? What? I'll pull it right now.
No, how do you?
I thought you would at least know what I'm talking about immediately.
Well, oh yeah, I do want to talk about a fight scene that in this movie that I thought was kind of lazy, and this one I thought was actually kind of unforgivably lazy, and it's the fight scene between Casey Jones and the second leader of the Foot Clan, that extra guy,
Tatsu, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Tatsu.
Yeah. No, essentially the fight is Tatsu's kicking around Casey. Casey, for some reason, can't block him at all and just gets hit by him every time until he sees a golf club and hits him.
Kicked.
Yes, and he sees a golf club, knocks him out with it. It feels very lazy, and it feels like this is like the best opportunity in this movie for a really solid fight scene. And they don't do anything with it. Probably because all the budget's going towards the costumes and making them look like nightmare fuel. Like,
well, the actor who played Casey, he was good for the role.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much so
he was
they
great.
Invited him back for the third film.
Yeah, him and
Don't know why he wasn't in the second one.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the second. Well, he wasn't the only one.
April,
I'm brain farting. Donnie.
It was a different
Donnie Feldman.
April. Yeah, or Corey.
Corey, God, that Donatello. That's why I couldn't come up with it.
Donatello, Corey Feldman.
Sleep is good, people. But Corey Feldman, yeah, he was the same way. He skipped the second. He skipped the second one as well. He voiced him here, and then he voiced him in the third one. Why are they coming back for the third one of all movies? I mean, holy shit. Who wants to act opposite David Warner?
Well, I mean, he was the best part of the third one. That guy was just so over the top British evil man. Like, it was kind of beautiful.
But okay.
Oh yes, Casey.
Yeah, Casey. I did want to bring up this because I'm watching it and I'm like, wow. So Shredder falls into a trash compactor, and Casey goes, "Oops," and crushes him. And it's like, wow, what family fun.
For the kids.
Yes. And it's like,
don't forget your coupon for Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah, there's a morbid part of me that really likes it. And there's also a part of me that's man, what? That's a bit much in the kids' movie. But,
I'll still chuckle.
Yeah.
I'll still chuckle at that every time.
No, it's like, oof. Ooh.
And what's weird is I kind of remember chuckling about it as a kid, too.
I know. Haha, he accidentally crushed a man to death.
He said, whoops. He didn't mean to.
Yeah.
He meant to. And now
he totally did it on purpose.
The hell is wrong with my little ass? I was a fucked up kid.
And it's also worth noting, always drove me nuts how the Turtles never attack Shredder, like, at least 2-on-1 or something. It's all 1-on-1. Again, technical limitations of the costumes. But
well, but that's also like in any martial arts movie, that they attack. They all go to the school of attacking at one at a time.
Yeah, quick, let's split up. They can't get us as bad that way.
Quick, let us all face him. Fair is fair, There is the code.
We have to stand in line, guys.
We have the code now. The code must be upheld.
Yes, but yeah, overall, this movie holds up. I'd say a lot. Well. It aged way better than X-Men, and it's 10 years older.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is a good one. You have any final thoughts on it?
No, just it was definitely something that was still kind of safe territory, I feel, in Hollywood or for a film at this time. But this is one that really kind of more people thought the film was coming about because of the popularity of the kids show. And the only reason why it was on our television sets as kids is because of the popularity of the comic books. So it's kind of something that has its origins in comic books, but now is more well known than it was, I would say, at the time, unless for people who were in the know.
Yeah, no, I remember at that time Turtles was fucking everywhere. And
Everywhere.
Turtle Mania we were deep in it. And I was in it too.
I recall going to the Rock concert as a kid.
Ooh, I didn't do that one.
I also went to the Power Ranger one.
Oof.
That one was regrettable now. I've apologized to my dad.
Yeah. Well, hey, I didn't apologize for forcing my parents
to
this movie because it's a good one.
What we got next?
We got another classic. Some great prosthetics in this movie.
I think I lost your audio.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I cannot hear you, Bob.
Hey, we had technical problems.
Yeah.
By the way, I would have just turned around and okay.
Yeah.
I mean, my acoustic is the one that's within reach.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we want to talk about great monster
trash
suits? Great monster, great mutant suits. Great mutant. What's the proper segue?
Chicken. Well, the suit I was gonna go with one of fantastic. The reason why practical effects sell better than whenever you try and add a little CGI. That was gonna be my segue, but we talked about it way too early.
Yeah.
Because you said it, and as soon as I thought about that, I was like, "Oh, that's perfect."
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Well, yeah, but we had then we had the audio issue because I was just gonna bring it back and then into. But recording. It's not a podcast, or it's not an organized chaos podcast unless there's some technical end on either of our ends.
There has to be the chaos.
Yeah,
if there's no chaos, what the fuck am I doing? No chaos.
Yeah. Apparently the dice had to go my way today. Just because I'm trying a new room.
We gotta throw chaos everywhere, and my job or our job is to organize it. That's the whole point. That's the whole...
Collectively try to get the poop in a group.
Yes.
But yes, why practical effects sell better than CGI effects are because they have the ability to look more believable. I still believe you could have all the graphics, a best team of whatever, putting together the next big monster destroys a metropolitan area, and I'll still say you throw a guy in a rubber suit and just a bunch of great skilled carpenters to build a replica, it'll look better. Because it will.
Yeah.
And that is what brings us to this 1967 kaiju, still from the Toho Films, which is the company that is known for making kaiju films.
Yes.
They are also known for making I can't recall the other series of Japanese films, but it's a major Japanese film company out there known for doing kaiju movies. So it's something within their wheelhouse. The plot of this movie, there's a rich philanthropist man who owns a magazine entitled Playmate Magazine.
Of all the names, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. I that's why I didn't ask you for your thoughts. As I talk about it, I wanted to watch yours.
Yes.
And he wants to open up this theme park called Playmate Island.
Yes, that's right. Yes. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to go.
So that's unintentional, I think, just with how time has evolved, and now that word is more associated with adult reading literature.
What?
The fact of an adult, it'd be like Playboy Island.
Yes.
It's pretty much what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But really, in this movie, Playmate magazine is pretty much a wildlife magazine. He sends reporters out to the wild and takes pictures of rare and beautiful and exciting animals all over the world. Tries to find ones that no one has ever seen before, which sends a team of reporters to the Obelisk Island, some rare, made-up island.
Yeah. So they're at Skull. I mean Obelisk.
Yeah, actually, I think this was also based off another kaiju. It's pretty much the same plot or same plot points of one called Go-Go. I'm not well versed in kaiju movies as I should be from being just a big fan of the concept and loving the idea of it.
Yeah,
I mean, I go to. Yeah.
I haven't seen as many as I probably should have either, especially of the classic ones. I've seen a lot of the newer ones, but
yeah,
we can get more into that later. But yes.
So yeah, they find this group of a tribe of natives who live there, and these kaiju movies they didn't really put their money into the monster and the miniature. You could always clearly see that in these movies. Like, that is where the budget went to. Now, they did have, but this one, I think they might have spent some change on some of the set pieces on this island. Because for, a low-budget monster movie like this is, I'm kind of I was impressed and still get impressed whenever I see any of the set design, or just the sets whenever they're on the island. I don't know about you. That's something that I'm still blown away by every time I watch it. That's real impressive.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice it, and it's because the lighting. At first, I thought it was a problem with the DVD I got, but the lighting on every version on YouTube as well, it is extremely dark for some reason, and I can't believe that was originally what was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when we were talking about it after we stopped recording. I said, it's weird because I've seen some copies and renderings of it where you could tell they put this movie together from several different reels of film.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of the thing is a lot of the lighting, especially with whenever they show one member of this island tribe, a young boy that they befriend, and he goes to show them the creature. We'll just put a stop there for the plot and synopsis. But for this kid, there are a lot of shots where he kind of looks like his complexion will change throughout the movie.
Yeah, which, I couldn't find any evidence of it actually being Asian blackface, but
it
looks like it so much.
Yeah, there are. I found actually two. I didn't send them because it's just I had him ready and he was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I just know it's not right.
Yeah, well,
both of them were just very apparent in those, and these were probably production films or stills that had been cleaned up, or maybe stills from the film that had been cleaned up even more. But in the 60s, I know in America that kind of practice even earlier, from dating back to the 30s and 40s in American cinema, that kind of stuff was just common, and they didn't have the PC standards or even just morals like there are in film and everything today. Not saying that it's a bad thing that they're there. It's good, because shit like that is just not cool.
Yeah, well, I do want to stress this is. Well, the one thing to note is that, at least, I don't know my Japanese history. I don't know the history of Japanese slavery, or if they were doing stuff like that. So there's not as much to it. Then again, they are. It appears as if they're painting Asian people to look black to represent a primitive culture.
Yeah.
Not very smooth.
And the one member that they feature the most, there's a lot of parts in it where, again, it could just be the lighting.
Yes.
But
I've seen nothing written that this is blackface, but it really fucking looks like it.
It draws that awkward conversation out.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
One thing I want to say.
Something. Yeah, go ahead.
This is 1967.
Yes.
We are really, I know, America, you aren't going to see I'm certain you can find it, but you're not going to find a whole lot of American cinema that does blackface at that time.
Not in the 60s. The 30s, however.
Oh,
yes.
God, yeah.
Oh, and the 40s weren't that better.
Yeah.
They were not that much better.
Song of the South forever.
The one thing that is not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I wonder why. Honestly, probably does feel like you put it on there, but you put a screen at the top that says, "Listen, guys.
Listen.
This is here for historical purposes. This is not something to look at and be like, oh, wow, isn't that cool? That's not."
Well, I know
we
that
dabbled
any
in
racism.
We dabbled.
I know that any one that they've done, it will like just kind of take out a lot of the overtly stuff. Mostly just, I think it's just Uncle Ruckus singing the praises of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's been years since I've watched it, but I have seen it, and it was like some friend's copy that he had downloaded on a computer.
And I know people get upset over the canceling of Peter Pan, which I think is dumb because it's...
Wait, what?
Disney Plus doesn't have Peter Pan except if it's an adult account. An adult account will still show up with a thing talking about the insensitivity towards Native Americans at the beginning, and that's it. That's the only change to it, and it's still there. It's just not on a kid's account, and everybody's outraged about it. And I'm kind of like, no, actually, I'm 100% fine with that one.
Yeah, that's...
And honestly, I'm kind of okay.
It's not
if
exactly
they do...
flattering.
I'm kind of okay if they do
like
something similar with even Song of the South. I'm not saying yay Song of the South, but historical context might be good.
I know that they put the warning on Aristocats.
No, there's
because
I know there's a couple things.
The Siamese.
Well, no, the Siamese. Are you talking about Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That is super, like, not racist
PC.
at all.
No, and...
I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed that when I was a kid, and looking back at it, I was like...
That was the first song I did memorize from that movie as a kid.
It's very catchy. It is
very
super catchy, which is just
I got to switch my battery. I got to switch a battery. So, tell me... So your thoughts on it as of this point? They haven't revealed the monster yet.
Yeah. Well, my thoughts on it at this point is, largely watching this at this point, I am thinking to myself, really getting reminded of the original Godzilla, 1954's Godzilla, and how they did an American version where they cut Raymond Burr into the movie, and they actually did a really good job. It's largely the same story. As I recall, there's a little changes to the story, but it's largely the same. And they fairly seamlessly put him in there, and it looks good. There's some spotty dubbing, but overall it looks good, and it works really well. And
so you're talking the original, like 34, right? King Kong?
No, the 54 Godzilla, the original.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Did I say King Kong? I meant Godzilla.
It's okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool.
But I'm talking about how they cut Raymond Burr into Godzilla, and it worked really well.
It did.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching this, I'm like, this isn't working.
Well, what gave it away? Was it the fact that their one companion on this trip, who I think his only purpose is to be the butt of the joke? He is fishing on this giant battleship submarine, and he... Sorry.
Salt to that mic. What are you doing?
He goes to cast back, and he fucking hooks himself.
That's right. Yep.
My first thought was like, first time I ever watched it, I remember thinking like, I hope this is not the hero, because this will be a short movie.
Yes.
This will be a real quick movie. How long is this? An hour and a half? Oh, God.
No.
I have to put up with this antics for that long. And then they introduce the press. It's like, oh, thank God.
Well,
these people who are just so forgettable the entire movie.
Oh, God. Well, it's worth noting how they're spotty dubbing in that Godzilla movie. And they get Raymond Burr in there, and there's some spotty dubbing, but it's okay. This movie hits you over the head with the really, really spotty dubbing.
And let us not, the spotty and how it, sometimes to me, it didn't really match up, like, the body language.
Oh, it almost never matches up.
Kind of like the whole thing about, why don't you just be a woman? I was like, how does this fit this scene? I mean, that's not right to say at all, but
I think it's really noteworthy that, like, we have a whole bunch of clearly Asian people speaking in the whitest fucking voice you've ever heard in your life. All of them.
They make John Wayne sound like he's got a real bad sunburn.
Yeah, you know, they got
real bad.
It's oh boy.
Yeah. And even the natives too, they speak perfect English.
Yes, perfect white guy English, and it doesn't even match their lips when they move, which is really, it's a talent.
It is. It's a talent as well as a skill.
Yes. I wish I could get my words to not match my lips so well.
Yeah. So the little native kid, he tells them about this mythical creature called Gappa. As we can see here, this, as I've always called it, affectionately, a chicken lizard.
It's terrifying.
It absolutely looks like a chicken lizard. Some sort of giant chicken lizard creature.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they go to a cave and they find a super giant egg that they don't know what it is. So their thought is, hey, whatever's in there is super rare. We've never seen an egg that big. You know, the dumb guy who caught himself suggests they eat it, and I'm kind of on his side.
Yeah.
That could be fucking delicious, dude. Think about the omelet you could make with that.
Oh, it'd be so huge. You could feed like 2 people with that. I
could feed myself with that. But so yeah, they ended up trying to, you know, they take the egg, and it hatches along once they get it back on their boat, but that's later. So they go to take it, and its parents wake up, because then we see the 2 giant Gappa creatures, a mommy and a daddy, and then they start to, well, no, that's later. I'm jumping ahead of myself, aren't I?
I don't recall if there's a whole lot that happens. I mean, there has to be stuff, but yeah, they take the kid and they do experiments, and mom and dad are not happy. So the mom and dad, since they're not happy, they decide they're gonna chill on the planet, just wait and see if they come to their senses, because you know that's what kaiju do. They're known for just being in their place and staying there, and never ever going to a heavily populated area and causing damage. Because why would you? Why would you? You're a kaiju. Go chill. What else could you do?
What else could they do? Oh, well, that's a bummer.
They could grab a drink. That's what they could do.
They could.
But yeah, I obviously the parents wreak havoc, and as I'm watching it, it is I feel like there's a lot of distance, because there's some modeling work that isn't good, and there's some modeling work that kind of blew me away. Most especially, there's this, like, they do they obviously knew this was a money shot, because they have this close-up of a building, and it looks like, when they're tearing through it, it looks like concrete. It looks really fucking good.
I know the exact shot you're talking about.
Yeah, I kind of wish I grabbed a screenshot. It's like, that's a money shot. It's like,
or the
whoa.
The one where you see that the slow approach right next to the giant tower, the one that's in like every kaiju movie. That damn building gets destroyed and rebuilt so many times.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they must have a great concrete and construction and labor union. Like, I mean, they're efficient.
Yeah. But I mean, like
to
I said,
a point.
I feel like there's a distance. It's like, oh my god, these guys, they're destroying that building and those toy cars. some of the modeling, like, you could tell that definitely budget constraints are going on here, because some of the modeling work is so good, and some of it really isn't. And yeah, that's I do have to say, like, I do have to wonder how they put together that building. I didn't look that up, but like that like they were on it for a little bit, and they really get to see some destruction. And really, the only giveaway that wasn't a real building was that there aren't people. So I guess we could say it was an abandoned building, but I guess they're just focusing on destroying a building because they hate architecture. These monsters are known for that. They hate architecture. And I guess I don't want to rag on this movie too much, because the original Godzilla did have some shoddy modeling, although I feel like it covered it up better. But again, like, with the crazy lighting, this obviously has never been remastered, so it's like probably patched together from different sources. And there's no... And there's no, like, consistency with how things look. It's possible this thing was supposed to look a lot darker, and possibly looked better when it was darker. Because some of the stuff... Yeah, some of the stuff appears overexposed. A lot of it is super underexposed. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of scenes where you think that they're fighting at night, and then you see it, and it looks like, oh, it's kind of like dawn right now.
Yeah.
So, no, it's midnight. Okay.
And it's almost tough to judge the movie for that, because it's like, I don't know if that's a technical error, or if it's just like the film's aged, and they're just patching together from where they can get it. They're just...
Yeah, or they could have just, or it could have just been, somebody was putting the film together that didn't exactly know it back and forth and misplaced a clip that, oh yeah, this looks like it goes here.
Mm-hmm. So I have to, are there any actual widescreen versions of this, or do all the versions have the credits cut off?
The version I have kind of ends very abruptly as well.
Well,
I think that's mostly probably all the North American versions. I'm sure if we were to get our hands on a Japanese release, maybe. That's
actually not quite what I meant, but yes, it does do that.
Oh.
What I'm talking about is like it's a full screen aspect ratio. Well, it would have been full screen. I don't know what you call it now. Old school aspect ratio.
Yeah.
But like the credits go off the screen, like we see like the middles of names and stuff.
I have no idea about that. I'm gonna say probably not.
Yeah, no, it probably doesn't exist. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, not anymore. I'm curious about it too.
It's one of those things where it's like, man, you like if you're gonna release it at all, you think you'd spend a little bit of extra money just to redo the credits. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, just a little.
No. They're cropped off, and we're leaving it that way. And why would you even crop them off? Why not like reshape the frame so they're still in there when you're doing a new version?
All right, so apparently, that save I didn't mean anything, but luckily I have all this film to memory.
Hey, there you go.
So they get back with the baby Gappa. The rich philanthropist guy, he wants to go get more. And he's like, I'm sure that there's a baby, so there must be a mom and a dad. Mm-hmm. He himself goes out on an expedition there, awakens mom and dad, and that sends them back to Tokyo for baby. And that's where we get the first scene of the Gappas just destroying a city. Mm-hmm. And it's typical kaiju fashion, true to form, like you said, and some of it is really great. Not a lot of it is, but some of it looks really great.
No, there is a lot of scenes in this movie where I'm like, oh my god, that poor model.
Yeah, going, oh. He's like, you're gonna trip over your own damn tail. Come on.
Oh man, that guy's gonna have to spend a whole day fixing that.
Yeah. God, you'd think that they would at least probably have a couple of like the models of a hotel, or they'd have like at least 7 of the building A's.
Yeah.
In case they didn't get the shot, they could just set it back. God, I imagine like that the set and the suits are probably the most expensive parts of those films.
Yeah, almost certainly. And
so the parents get there, they destroy, and the army shows up. They fire some missiles at them. They go away. Anyways, they're doing experiments on the little baby Gappa, and it's crying out, and the parents find it, and they kind of just like see it in there, and then just kind of growl at it, and then they fly off. They later attack, but that I always kind of thought like, yep, well, sorry, kid. They just fly away.
Yeah.
Tough break, kid.
Ah, well, you can't have everything.
And again, a lot happened with the humans at this point in the movie, but I always found that the humans in this, and sometimes even in some of the kaiju movies, and they try this a lot, especially with the modern Godzilla movies, and I kind of have a love-hate feel about this.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of don't give a shit about that.
Well, sometimes it works, and
Sometimes
lots of times it doesn't. Like,
yeah. Like, I think it worked better in Converse or Godzilla King of the Monsters than it did it in Godzilla.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Godzilla I almost felt like was way too much into the human aspect. And lots of people criticize Godzilla King of the Monsters for having too many fights. I actually love the fights there, and I actually thought the human aspect was handled decently as well.
It's a Godzilla movie.
Yes, yeah. And well, that also kind of drove me nuts.
It's a Godzilla movie.
There are too many monster fights. It's a fucking kaiju movie, man.
The fuck you... Yeah. Oh. But this one, we don't really have a kaiju fight or anything. It's just more some kaijus just, fucking some shit up.
Yeah, tag teaming kaijus.
Throughout experimentation on Baby, they discover that it has a low tolerance to subatomic frequency, or like a kind of like a magnetic wave, but it's really only if like it hits them and it makes them weak. And they found that the Gappas were resting underneath the water right outside Tokyo. So they admitted these things to drop them underwater when they realized, no, you're really just hurting them. They just want the kid. Give them the kid and they'll be free. And they have a little mini battle. The little tribal kid that apparently they just kidnapped from that island and took with them. Yeah, he's
still there, yeah.
Yeah, he popped up earlier in a scene and kind of befriended the rich guy's daughter, who there's scenes that go back and forth where you see the rich guy kind of torturing it and the daughter just saying, you're a monster, daddy. Stuff like that. But that's all just filler. None of that really
doesn't matter.
Plot. It really doesn't. It's kind of pointless, and honestly, the I can't really blame the child actor for being that way, but just how it was just kind of annoying, and I just would always go, "Oh, is this part? Skip ahead. There we go. There's the monsters. That's what I wanted to see. This is what I need to write about."
There you go.
And then they decide to let the little one go. They reunite it. There's a nice scene where the baby learns how to fly. And then they just kind of take off, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that flight was it was a sight to see.
Kind of like if they had they obviously had they had some sort of line tethered.
Yeah.
And they had them attached, so they're pulling them up, so it's almost as if they're just kind of... I'm going to use this frog as an example.
Yeah.
That it's just kind of going, so it's tethered up like this, and they're just...
It's almost like they're not really flying. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's clearly they're being pulled diagonally by a line.
Were you not completely sold on the illusion of this film? Did you not suspend your disbelief for this movie?
I kind of suspended it when they said Playmate Island.
Yeah, I kind of lost it.
That's when I was just like, oh, what is this? Is Attack of the Centerfolds? It sounds like a much better movie I could be watching.
Okay, if I went to this Playmate Island, I would be very fucking pissed off. This is total misrepresentation.
The fuck is all these iguanas?
What the fuck is this? There's giant fucking kaiju here. What the fuck?
I signed up for parrots, not Mothra. But this movie's great in the sense of just golden camp. And there's a lot of times where this rich billionaire guy will refer to the Gappa as a giant bird lizard, which is all where I get chicken lizard from. Because I go like, I don't know what bird that is, but that's a chicken. Look at that beak.
Yeah.
Or a rooster lizard, but rooster lizard doesn't really roll off your tongue that well.
No,
chicken lizard.
It's a chicken lizard.
It is a chicken lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did do some research to try and see if I could find some sort of a Gappa collectible.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I found was, check out this very authentic model that you could build pre-assembled or build yourself. Out of stock.
Of course.
Everything was just out of stock.
Yeah.
Out of collectible Gappa family. Out of stock. Well, the one I sent you was like for $600. You can get the full family from Japan. Yeah.
Oh, what was the original title of this? It was Gappa the...
It was, it was Gappa the...
I don't have my...
I want to say amphibious monster.
Yeah, something like that. Like you'd almost want to call it the prehistoric monster from the Americanized title, but it's not.
The Triphibian. Triphibian.
Well, that just rolls off the tongue. I don't know why they didn't stick with that.
Triphibian. Triphibian monster.
Kappa, the Triphibian.
Gappa. Triphibian monster.
So Triphibian.
I mean, here, easy, quick. We just call it a chicken lizard.
Gappa, the chicken lizard. That does roll off the tongue better.
Attack of the giant chicken lizard. It's great trash. This is something that you can just turn on, turn your brain off, and just laugh.
The easiest place to find it is going to be YouTube. I did order the DVD.
Yep.
Quality is very iffy. Like, okay, so I don't have it with me. So, once again, you guys who are just listening, you're getting the full thing. So, like, you get the DVD, it has a case, it has a cover. It's not actually as cool as this cover. It's actually quite a bit worse. But then you open it up and you plug the DVD in, and the menu is literally a picture of the DVD cover with a couple of buttons to the right. And I shit you not, on the menu, in the corner of the picture, it says DVD on the cover. They couldn't even remove the DVD logo from the fucking cover of the disc. It is so kind of, we don't care. They don't care.
And someone needs to.
I know.
This is the remake that Hollywood needs to make. They need to. And I don't care if I die on this hill alone. They need to remake this movie. Michael Bay, fucking you team up with Jerry. Fucking put The Rock in it with Megan. I don't give a fuck. just fucking make this movie.
Yes.
There's no way you could make this even more of a steaming pile of shit.
Hey, man. I think I'd like to see Kappa
running
in slow
I would
motion.
love to see the I would love to see the execution of it, because it will be just a piece of shit.
I'm strangely comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of crazy, nonsensical things, are we ready for Doom Patrol? So, Bobby is apparently working on something, but we went, like, I had not seen Doom Patrol Season 2, so I watched it over the past couple weeks. I believe Season 3 comes out in a couple days, actually. I don't know if that's going to be an episode.
It comes out on Thursday.
Yeah, is that going to be like an episode a week, or is that going to be like all at once?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it might be an episode a week, I'm pretty sure it's an episode a week.
I think they did something like that with Titan, so I think it will be.
Because I know that with this one, there is a definite change of pace and tone to it, and I feel like I know a lot of it is because they had to shut down because of COVID.
Yeah. COVID, what's
that? You really pick up on it because you feel everything's being rushed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate that it had to be that way, but it is. But it's still very great and just mad fucking Doom Patrolness.
Wow.
So it starts. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say what I like about this season is that it does go faster and it explores familial relationships quite a bit more. Like it actually explores Larry and his relationship with his family, which is something I felt the first season really missed. Like we explore his relationship with his ex-lover a lot, and in my mind, I'm kind of like, what about his kids? And this season explores his kids, and
I kind of really enjoyed that about this season too. And it was something the whole first season, like, okay, I get it, like, you know, okay, that's, but you know, he had kids, like, what's up with them? Like, his kid has to at least still be alive.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is essentially first season was a really good, maybe 10, maybe if you push it 12 episode season. That was 15 episodes. And it's still good. Yeah. But it's just you don't stretch it out quite that far, guys.
No.
And I think this one's 9. And yeah, was production straight up shut down because of COVID? Because it leaves on a very big cliffhanger. And it really doesn't... I'm trying to think. It doesn't really resolve anything, if I recall.
And if you remember, like, season 2 ends right where the beginning of the season 3 trailer is. How it starts off with all that. We see them all kind of unthawing from the spiders... Or the wax, the candle wax.
Yeah, that's right. It was a candle wax, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, goddamn, that character design was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that much and kind of going like, well, that's not just blood curdling.
Yeah. Yeah. That candle guy is just... Well, the candle guy, it's... Yeah, if you haven't seen it, like... Crap, what's his name? Ryan... No. Colder. Niles Colder. His daughter is a big player in this season. She was on Danny Street for a while, and now she's a big player. Maybe a bit too much. He makes such a big fucking deal about how powerful she is, and she is fucking powerful.
She is. I just kind of was like, okay, we had this much of a build up, and this is the payoff.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. We never truly get a payoff. Probably the closest we get to a payoff, other than the candle guy candlizing all the characters, would probably be her ability to go in and kill Jane's personalities, which was kind of fucking crazy. That was insane.
Yeah. Well, Jane had a lot going on this season.
Well, yeah.
They all, like you said, they all were dealing with, their own family issues, like the actress. I want to say Rita, but I don't think that's actually her name.
The actress is. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Jane?
No, not Jane. The actual part of Doom Patrol, the blob lady.
Oh, the actress April Bowlby.
April, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the character or
that's the actress? The character is Rita Farr.
It is Rita. Okay,
yeah, but her real name's Gertrude Clamp. I guess it's been like a week since I've seen it, so.
Okay, so I was right though, Rita. Okay. Yeah. Like with how it talked about what her memories of her early childhood and getting into acting, like a lot of that was fucking heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
And even all of Larry's stuff was, even Cliff's stuff too. His was rough, but in this he really tried to rebuild a connection back with his daughter.
Yeah, and he's really working for the most part.
And he really was working on it, and he was doing a lot of good. There was a great episode to episode cliffhanger where he was trying to make it to a day that he promised her he would be there, and his body just shut down in a parking lot. How he was just conscious there, but just screaming. That was pretty funny.
Cliff has his issues.
He does.
But yeah, going into how messed up the family is, because Rita, we go into how Rita got into acting because her mom was willing to sleep with producers.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And Larry reconnects with his kids when his eldest, or I believe it's his eldest son, does an overdose and dies. And then so he reconnects with his second son, who is a bit fucking mental.
Yeah.
It seems like things are going well, and then he calls the cops on his father, and things go very poorly very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as we're driving through, we're like, Jesus Christ, does Cliff have the most functional family relationship of all these people? This is fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know if he does. Maybe.
He's in the running, man. He's in the...
Yeah, but we go through the whole season, and each episode will like cover each of the different members of the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Cyborg has to go to this like alternative reality face at the end, where he has to fight an evil version of his father.
Yes.
And they all have this big giant battle at the end with the Candlemaker, because he's just pretty much manipulating their psyche.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the season, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to spoil it, but it already is spoiled for you by the trailer for 3.
Yeah.
But he pretty much incapacitates it, the whole crew, and the daughter imagines herself a spear and runs and attacks at it, and we see it absorb her. So, and then it just ends on black. So we don't know if the daughter's alive or not at this point.
Yeah, we know really nothing at this point.
I mean, according to the books, some might know, but that's speculation at this point.
How accurate is this to the books at all? I kind of always assumed
I don't know. I haven't read
thing.
I haven't read the book. The recap I watched earlier to refresh myself with the season, it had mentioned what happened in the books with this storyline. And that, like, as just like, in the books, they just yada, yada, yada. And but we don't know if they're doing that, but that is what happened in the book. So it feels like they're going that way. But this, and it's like, oh, whoa, stop. I just don't want the book spoiled.
Just a recap.
Jesus. Jesus, man. But I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, according to that, like in the books, yeah, that happened. But yeah, she lived. Like, she killed it with ease, actually, very similarly. Wow. Yeah, she just killed it with ease. I think he said he had to take her, she had to take it to another realm in order to do the deed, in order to kill it there, so it would be dead.
Okay.
But yeah, Doom Patrol season 2, amazing, everything, acting, everyone was just on point this whole season. The actress who plays Jane, not only taking on several different roles of playing the different personas, but they also had other actresses playing the different roles as well. But
yeah,
all the ones that she played as herself, wow, she was good. Well, I enjoyed that stuff.
Well, the character of Jane's interesting because we get to her psyche, which is called the Underground, and it's we get to see all her personalities kind of associate with each other there. And they're largely played by different actresses. But when one of those characters or personalities comes to the forefront, the main actress has to play the same character that we're seeing in the Underground. And it's fairly fucking seamless. Like, it's tough to judge. Like, it was to the point where I was like, are we sure that's not the same actress in makeup in the Underground? It's definitely not, like, but man, it fucking feels like it.
Yeah, who was the tough one? Like the punk rock looking Hammerhead.
Yes.
That transition. Yep, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it
fooled me.
Acts like the same character. It doesn't look like the same character, but it fucking acts like it. It's perfect.
I mean, that was one that I was later able to pick up on. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd see her, like, a mannerism she would do, or the way she would like tilt her head, and it's like, oh, what's up, Hammerhead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
next few minutes are going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for season 3.
Yeah, I definitely.
I hope I'll be able to watch some of it. But because I think as of that point, everything would be the big hustle and bustle.
Yeah. But yeah, Doom Patrol, very good. I'm really it's tough. It's actually, there's so much left open. It's actually even tough to judge this season because I don't fucking know. I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to say where they're gonna go or what they're really gonna do with it.
Yeah, it's just, we felt like we had interesting stuff going, and then it ended. And telling me
they kind of had to.
Yeah, and if it was a pandemic thing, it's like, oh, that makes sense.
I mean, there could have been like clever ways they could have gone about it, like maybe hired some people to animate it goofily, sent all the actors like the scripts, have them record their lines at home.
Well,
maybe.
I was actually thinking it might just be better to delay it. Or I don't know. We'll see how they do. We can see how they do.
We'll see what they do. Yeah, we will see what they'll do with it.
Like I hope it's tough to judge because we don't know.
It is. Because we don't even know if that was like the full vision of what they had for season 2. Because it started off just going, oh, we're going in deep to the roots.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, are we ready to talk about some Star Trek?
Yeah, I have not had a chance to watch this show yet.
I will brain lock. What? Tell me what history do you have with Star Trek?
I didn't really watch it a lot when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's something that I definitely got into when I was much older. I think around the time we met, I was going through watching all of the original movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would go through and I watched Motion Picture, and then Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, Undiscovered Country. What is it? Final Frontier.
Yeah,
and
Final Frontier was the 5th one, and then Undiscovered Country.
And then Undiscovered Country, and then
Generations.
So I threw and then Generations, and then I watched all the Next Gen movies. And always throughout that, I would just, while I was watching like the movies with the first crew, I kind of would watch the series when I wasn't watching it. So I kind of tried to take it all in as once. Man, that campiness from the 60s.
Oh yeah.
So great.
There's some there's some stuff that has dated well and lots of stuff that hasn't. But that original series is so fucking 60s. Holy shit.
It's just, oh god, yeah. But, and you know, I watched Next Gen. I tried, and I mean 4 seasons I tried. I couldn't do Voyager. I tried. I really did. Just kind of, it put me to sleep.
Well, it's worth noting, my issue always with Voyager was that it has, like, one of the best premises for a series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
What you have, you have this ship, it's fairly advanced ship, and it's going after, you know, kind of these low-level, like, terrorists, essentially. And then they get, both the terrorists are after and the main ship get pushed away, way off to the other side of the galaxy. The little ship is all fucked up, and the big ship's all fucked up too, but still functional. And long story short, they're essentially stranded there on one ship. These 2 crews that really shouldn't work together, and they have to find a way home. That's a fucking great setup.
Yeah, that is.
Episode 2,
and I thought I would.
Episode 2.
I thought I would.
The ship's fully repaired, and the crews are working together pretty fucking well. It's like, great setup, and we're going to do jack shit with it. It's just going to be, we're going to explore a planet every week, and every once in a while we'll mix it up and tease that they might go home, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Yeah. Now, DS9, I kind of liked that they were there alone.
Mm-hmm. That's
per se.
Like,
I liked that way more.
Like, you could
Just
argue
this
Deep Space Nine, as far as the Star Trek series, possibly has, I don't know if I want to say has less potential, but it's like they aren't going out into space all the time exploring a new planet. They do it occasionally, but not all the time. They're largely just in one space while other things happen around them. But they make full use of that potential of all the politics of always having to deal with the same stuff over and over again, of ongoing storylines that you can't escape from because you're fucking stationed. You can't go to another planet and escape this situation. You're here. You're
no, it's you have to deal with it. You know, make your bed, lay in it. And that's something that I really enjoyed about it. Like you said, it's like you have to deal with these things because this is what our life is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've always liked about DS9 over Voyager, which, like you said, like, okay, cool. Two people who shouldn't be working together are forced to. Promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's not do anything cool with it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that I felt made Next Gen unique in a way. That sure, they had to help people that they normally wouldn't help, and most of the time it turned out to be like the wrong decision, which they all knew from the get-go. However, but it wasn't so reoccurring on Next Gen to where the point to the point where it just kind of got so repetitive where it got boring. It was always filled with great story, great plot, and great reasoning for why. And story building, world building.
If you ignore the first season and parts of the second season, yes, it was largely great.
I mean, its predecessor.
And the bit where Crusher
those were raising the bars. Those episodes were raising the bar to the potential of what Next Gen.
Yes. There's a huge range of potential. Next Gen is largely great, though.
I did enjoy those nostalgia-heavy episodes, the ones how they featured cast members of the original. Like there was the I really one of my favorites is the one with Scotty on it, and him talking about change and all the change he's seen.
I do love
it's a great speech by Scotty, and he is one of my favorite characters from the original series. I mean, I genuinely laughed most at his stuff, and it kind of made me appreciate his roles more in the films. I mean, I'm never going to forgive him for doing this, though. Computer.
Oh, come on. That's hilarious.
I totally do it every time I go to Micro Center.
But I will say,
not find it entertaining.
One bit I love from that episode, though, is where he's talking to LaForge, and LaForge is ordered to do some repairs, and this guy's like, oh, yeah, how long did you tell him it's going to take? And LaForge's like, oh, I don't know, it'll take like an hour. Oh, and how long is it really going to take you? Like an hour. You didn't tell him the actual time, did you? What are you doing? What are you?
Yeah, that is great. Because it's like, yeah, come on now. You gotta always overestimate. You oversell.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna take you an hour. You tell him 4, and then he's gonna cut it down anyway.
You deliver,
and then you get done in 1, and you're a fucking miracle worker.
You deliver it in an hour and a half and look like a golden god.
Yeah,
it's like you under promise and then over deliver.
Yeah.
I believe is the phrase. Yeah. One of my teachers from the broadcasting school said something like that and always gave the exams like, you promise them it on Wednesday and you have it there by 5 p.m. Monday. When they spoke to you at noon. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, gotcha. What about first thing Tuesday? That's even better.
Now, you might be wondering, why are they spending all this time talking about Star Trek? All this Star Trek besides Lower Decks. But it's important because Lower Decks is something when I first saw like commercials for it, I was just like, this looks kind of fucking stupid. But I saw reviews for it were decent, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go ahead and check it out.
I will admit, I had heard of it, and the thought of it and the idea of it, I was like, that's kind of dumb, but...
It sounds really dumb. It sounds really, really dumb. But and here's the thing, it is canon. It is technically canon. It takes place probably maybe 5 years after Nemesis. And what this series does is kind of great. What it encompasses all of Star Trek. down to the goofiness. In fact, there's a bit that I wanted to research because I wasn't sure what the exact reference was. But there's a bit where one of the crew members, we see all these lower deck guys, and one of the crew members is like, "Oh, my job for today was I have to turn these knobs, and if I don't turn them, they overheat." And that was it, just turning knobs. And I'm like, that has to be a deep cut on like the original series where characters are just turning knobs for no reason. But
that has to be.
Like this show has a lot of fun with the old like canon and stuff like that, but it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it in like a mean way. It does it in kind of like a loving way. It's kind of great
like a
how it handles it.
Sort of.
Yes. It's not. To fully get the premise of this show, like we've seen like these grand exotic ships on these great adventures, go exploring great new territory. This is not that ship. This is a second tier ship. They even talked about in the first episode. This ship's specialty is second contact. Once all the groundwork is laid and everything is set up, they go there and make sure the paperwork gets signed, and that's their job. It's like this is the less glamorous ship, and we're following like the lower decks people on this less glamorous ship. So it's like these are not like they're not bad, but they're not like, oh my god, these guys are so important to everything. They're just nobodies on a ship, and it's so much fun. They do so many deep cuts in this series. Like, I couldn't even begin to tell you the number of references they just spit out, like, nonstop. And it's like, oh my god. To give you an idea, we'll see if you get this. At the end of this episode of the season, one of the guest stars is an exocom.
That one's over my head.
Do you remember that?
Over my head. Remind me.
TNG episode about these little drones that gain sentience.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. We have an exocom in that episode. Does it need to be an exocom? Actually, like, they actually have a story excuse where the exocom would be super helpful, but it turns out the exocom is a coward and doesn't help him, so it's not helpful at all.
That's kind of marvelous.
Yes. It also isn't afraid to bring back guest stars. Both Riker, Q, and Troy are all in this.
Q.
They're not regulars. They just pop up for an episode each.
Yeah, but they're brought
there.
Him back.
No, Q is awesome. He like they talk about how annoying Q is. He always pops up with games. I'm like, oh god damn it, Q. And they're like, Q, go bother Picard. I can't bother him all the time. That's boring. Come on.
That's great.
But yeah, it's the original actors coming back too. So
that's awesome.
That's a huge advantage to how it's animated because they just pull anybody back, do anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, they really could.
And I will say, like, I felt like the reason why I was kind of turned off to it was because it kind of felt like it'd be like Rick and Morty Star Trek kind of almost. And
it kind of looked like that, yeah.
It's kind of an adult cartoon, but it's not that ridiculous. It just has fun with the lore. Okay, I gotta tell you another piece of lore that I absolutely loved in this. So one of the characters makes a holodeck program, a training holodeck program. And one of the things he put in there is Badgie. It's a little comm badge, and it functions a lot like the paperclip in Microsoft Word. So it's like, hey, how could I help you? It's super annoying and obnoxious. But that's not awesome. That is not the awesome thing about Badgie.
Oh, yeah?
Badgie is waiting for any moment for the holodeck safeties to turn off so he can fucking kill you. That is like his sole driving force in life. He wants to fucking kill you.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like they want him to do something, and he's like, "Can you turn off the holodeck safeties?" Like, no, we can't turn off the holodeck pit safeties.
No, we're not doing that.
Well, then I'm not helping you. I want to turn off the holodeck safeties. I kind of love this series. This is definitely my favorite season of all the new Trek. And it's something I actually just realized, because we have new series coming, but right now we have 3 concurrent Star Trek series, which is the most concurrent Star Trek series we've ever had, which is really bizarre because it's not at its height. And
Yeah.
But I love
Regardless
having
what the Facebook group says.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this series. This is my favorite season of New Trek. I thought Discovery season 2 was all right. I was not a fan of Discovery season 1. Picard season 1. I mean, I love seeing Picard in 7 again, but
I didn't hear any good things about Discovery.
season,
I've heard people tell me just to give it a chance, and I've also heard a lot of people say like it seems like it goes somewhere, but it doesn't lead anywhere.
I haven't seen season 3 yet. Season 1 is okay. I'll tell you one of the big warning signs of season 1. The second half of that season is spent in the mirror universe, and at that point in the series, we've only really explored maybe 3 characters, and we're seeing mirror counterparts for the whole crew. And
that's reaching.
It does not fucking work at all. Deep Space.
Yeah, that's reaching.
Deep Space Nine waited until the end of second season to do a mirror universe, and that was just one episode. That wasn't half a season.
True.
Discovery season 1 has issues. Discovery season 2, I actually enjoyed quite a bit, as I recall. But Lower Decks is it's like a love letter to Star Trek, I have to say, and it works so well. I know season 2 is airing right now, and I am excited to see it. But Lower Decks, I highly encourage anyone who's a Star Trek fan, check this out. It's worth the time. It is so just fun. All right. Right. What's our last thing? Oh, what if? Right for what if?
What if?
What if?
Yeah.
Or as my daughter likes to call it, the eternal question. But what?
This one, oh man.
This one, man. This one is all about what if Killmonger saved Iron Man, and
yeah.
Things go about as well as you'd expect with Killmonger in a position of power at Stark Industries.
And quickly advancing through the company as well.
Well, yeah.
At a shocking rate.
Well, yeah.
He goes from head of security to COO.
Yes, very quickly. Because as per the story, part of the reason why he knew to save Tony Stark is because he stumbled across the video footage that indicate Obadiah Stane. So he goes save Tony Stark, then tells him about Obadiah Stane, gets him kicked out, he gets the job, and he becomes his head of security guy. And it does not stop there.
No, it really doesn't. It's he and Tony quickly hatch a plan. Really, it's more Killmonger plants this seed in his head to get a better defense system. So they create these these robot drones, and Killmonger programs all of them to fight, but they keep finding an issue that they're not strong enough. And Killmonger says, "Well, what if we use vibranium?" And then they go to acquire a bunch through Claw.
Of course.
Since it's a government thing, Rhodes has to go with them, and of course, Killmonger is in cahoots with Claw. Black Panther shows up to try and capture Claw, and they're selling vibranium that was stolen. And the result, Killmonger starts fighting with that. Once the dust is settled, we see that Rhodes and Black Panther are downed, and it was a subsonic taser, I think, from Stark Tech, is what took them both down. Black Panther ends up dying, and so does Rhodes, both by Killmonger's hand. He gets vibranium, and he and Stark, they go back and start making the robots like mad.
Yeah.
And then Tony, well, they don't start just yet. Tony realizes that, Killmonger played him for a fool, and he sends one of the drones that he has already created, I think it was their Alpha or their one of their or their mock, the one that they had built and the one that is still functioning, the one they were experimenting with, tried to fight him, but Killmonger ends up taking out both the drone and Tony, and with the same blow by throwing a vibranium spear.
Yeah.
So Tony's dead,
Yeah, it gets a little dark. It's a little dark.
Really dark, and General Ross comes in and informs Pepper and all that the military's taking it over, and we're going to start a mass production of these robots with all the vibranium we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we see Killmonger and Claw with the robot army. The robot army hangs back while he and Claw go up to the door, or the edge of the force field. Killmonger kills Claw then, and presents it as a gift to the Kanan Queen of Wakanda, and the Kanan admits the truth about his lineage, and all of this is revealed. He's like, "There's an army. That's why I'm here to fight for Wakanda."
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is they're going to let the droids in, or not the droids. They did look like super
kinda, yeah.
Star Wars. They did look like the droids from Clone Wars.
Yeah, like bulked up versions, but yes. Mm.
Like them on robot steroids.
Yeah, if they were actually somewhat scary looking, it's pretty much what they would look like.
Yeah. And then they close the force field to let them in, and then open them back up or they close it back after they're all in. And that cuts off communications with Jarvis as well as the U.S. government. Then Killmonger deactivates them and then makes easy pickings of them as he chooses to reactivate them, though they're just operating manual at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, they all buy into this. He becomes the next Black Panther. And then he has a real interesting conversation with T'Challa in the other realm. I forget what they called it.
I don't remember either.
And T'Challa just pretty much wanted to ask him, was this all worth it? Because with all this power you have, now you have no idea the repercussions that can come with it. The decisions you made carry weight. And he leaves it with a very poignant message. And it's another beautiful vocal performance by Chadwick Boseman. I mean, yeah. This was a pretty decent episode.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I kind of like what they did with it, but for me, it was just kind of predictable because Killmonger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of Killmonger's plan plays, like, there's, like, obviously killing Claw and bringing him back. It plays very similar to Black Panther. Obviously, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, I don't think this is a step, like, I think every episode before this has been a step forward, and this one's not the same step forward. Of course, it's tough to follow Marvel's zombies. This is still good, though. This is, like, middle-of-the-pack stuff.
It's not exactly treading water, either.
Yeah.
Like, it's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Just, yeah.
I do want to mention, man, I don't know how many episodes Chadwick Boseman recorded, but I'm kind of amazed. He did a solid amount of voice work for this series.
He did.
I mean, I have no idea when his final episode will be. This is the third one, I want to say he was in.
Yeah, because he was in, I want to say it was the second one.
Yes. Yeah, he was a big role in the second one,
it was the third one, the Star-Lord one.
Yeah, that was,
it was
number
one.
2, yeah.
That was the Star-Lord, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in the zombie one, this one, and he had made an appearance in another one, I think, too.
Was there another one?
Maybe. No. This might be his third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, now it won't surprise me if he's got more. I mean, at this point, he might be in the rest of the series.
Would.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
I saw the Star-Lord one and thought, oh, there's the final performance of Chadwick Boseman. Nope.
I mean, maybe that's the last one of him being featured as, like, the main star.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, that's probably, like, I'm sure the rest of it is all just bit parts if that's the case, which that'll be a little sad, but still.
Still, kind of.
I'm happy we have that.
I mean, yeah, I'm happy we have it. I mean, he was such a talent lost. Of course. Yeah. I mean, speaking of talent, I mean, we do get Michael B. Jordan back as Killmonger, which was fucking awesome. Most of the characters honestly return, except for like Iron Man and the William Hurt, General Ross.
But that guy was a pretty good impersonator of William Hurt.
Yeah, no,
he did a good enough job.
No, if William Hurt's credit was at the name of this, it wouldn't have surprised me. That was really good.
Like it was enough for me not to really notice unless I was actually listening for it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when I was listening for it, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally not William Hurt."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
That was What If this week.
What If?
I haven't seen
it.
I haven't seen what the teaser for the next one is, or would that be it? Because that was 6.
Okay, I'll be 100% honest. I haven't even seen the Hawkeye trailer yet, because when the fuck am I supposed to have time?
Ooh, that one actually looks fairly all right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but man, time is evil the past few days.
Yeah, I know that Black Widow will be available for streaming on Disney Plus, I believe, in October.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Blu-ray was already released.
Yeah,
it won't let me do store pickup, so I had to order mail, and it's supposed to take like 2 weeks. So that's really annoying. But
I'm honestly kind of surprised that just because the Blu-ray's out, that you'd think it'd be available for streaming, because there's certainly people who are seeding it.
Well, the thing with Disney Plus Premiere that kind of drives me nuts is that, like, what would be nice is if because Disney Plus, to my understanding, doesn't really have like special features and stuff. So what they should do,
kind of do, in like if you go to select the movie, there'll be like that little column that's suggested, and this is on like the Xbox, so I'll go to that and then I'll hit like over on my D-pad, and there'll be extras, and then there'll be like I think deleted scenes or something like that. But yeah,
I was just gonna say, I feel like the Premiere thing just feels like such a money sink the way they have it set up. So essentially, you have early access to it. But after a little while, everyone has access to it. So after a little bit, it's a waste. And it'd be nice if there was something special you got for Premiere access that maybe like it'd be still available if you really want to get it later and check it out. But like after a little bit, it's just gone. Like I don't know if it's just special features or something, but there needs to be a bonus for that, because that is the biggest reason why I'm against getting a Premiere access thing. Because what am I getting from it? Well,
yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it too. I share an account with my parents, and well, it's my account, but they're on mine. And
I don't know what that's
I had
like.
Set it, but they had wanted to watch 100 and like the 101 or the Cruella movie or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. At first, I was like arguing with my dad about it. I was like, I mean, well, no, it's like plain and simple. I don't want to. I feel like that's just insults to the people who were working in theaters. It's like, why, Dad? That's a low-paying job. I've had that low-paying job. I know how bad it sucks. Me paying that $70 is pretty much the price I would pay if I were going to the theater by myself. Like, no. I ended up buckling for them, but I thought if I bought it, I would still have that Premiere access for whenever something else comes out.
Nope.
No.
It's for that movie alone.
$70. Just
is it $70? I thought it was like 30.
Well, I think it's now. Now for me, it's about 30 or $40, depending on new movie, whatever it is. Maybe it's because I paid that initial 70 along with the 70 when I signed up.
Wow. That's shit.
Yeah,
though.
I paid for the 1 year. Just take it all at one point in the year. That's how I have most of my streaming services set up, except for Shudder. I couldn't do it for Shudder.
I actually don't have Shudder, so
it's $5 a month. A lot of great horror.
I was about to say, what does it have? Because I don't know.
Horror.
I feel like I have so much. I have so much streaming.
It also has Joe Bob Briggs' Drive-In, which, if you remember Monster Vision from TNT.
No.
That guy who was like the hillbilly who would sit in the trailer park or the drive-in theater, or sit in the camping chair with the bola and the cowboy hat, and he'd have all these facts about bad movies. While they'd watch them some nights, they would do like the Friday the 13th marathon on Halloween.
Thing to keep in mind is I did not have cable when I was a teenager. So
okay.
Lots of people.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Eat My Shorts or Eat Your Shorts? No, I didn't.
This was definitely a show that's there, and I know a lot of people probably like around our age and maybe a little bit older. That's how a lot of them got into horror at such a young age because of this show. He's on there now, and he's pretty much doing the same thing, and it's kind of great because he just has all these absurd facts that he'll just keep going on and on about. It's Joe Bob Briggs. Look him up on YouTube after this and check out some of the clips. He's an entertaining guy.
Nice. So.
Oh, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, I think we got, we all need to sleep. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the end of the Low Energy podcast. Hopefully, well, you're going to take a week off, you fucking...
2. I won't be back till October 3rd.
Well, I think I looked at that's going to be about a week. I think I'm
Okay,
planning on doing one. I'm hoping to bring in a guest host for that, so we'll have a podcast.
Okay.
And Bobby's going to leave me, though, and I'm never going to forgive him until I do.
Until he sees me again.
Yeah, and then I'll be like,
So-
fuck it, we're good.
Fun fact of what we're doing for our honeymoon is the first few days we're gonna trek up to Niagara, go to the falls, check that out. We're gonna stay at a really swanky hotel that's like super nice. It has like a rainforest cafe and a Starbucks in the lobby, like super swanky and nice. And spend a couple of days up in Niagara, and then we're gonna go down to Put-in-Bay, take the ferry over, stay in the party hotel there.
It's nice.
I like when my fiance told me that much, I was just like, yep, I already know what to expect with that type of a hotel. It's the Party Central. Okay. Its main attraction is a swim up bar in the pool. A pool that you have to be 21 and 21 to be in at all. So I'm like, okay, I know where to set the bar for this.
Nice.
I was looking at it. Some of the check-in packages you could have is a 4-pack of Red Bull or a 6-pack of Bud Light or seltzer like Truly's waiting for you when you get there. I believe I even saw 4 Locos.
Nice. I haven't seen 4 Locos in
Yeah.
forever.
So again, I'm excited for that. I'm going to have my camera with me, and I'm going to definitely have some photos and stuff to be posting up on my Bobby Quarters Facebook page, as well as my Bobby Quarters Instagram. Gonna get more use of that one since I got a newer phone that can take good pictures. But in the end, after having to plan this wedding for 3 times now, having it be like over a year and a half since the original date, I'm finally happy it's here. Oh, it's a relief.
Well, I think you'll have a fun week ahead of you. I'm going to be doing the same old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a day off where I can sleep.
Oh, don't worry. If I happen to find something entertaining out on our ventures, something that I think you need to see, I will show it to you. Like if there's a man cosplay as Superman up at Niagara, we're getting a photo. I'm getting a photo. Like, all right, where's that kid?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy. Like the day you're getting married, I actually am going to a wedding, but not your wedding. So, yeah.
There's a lot. My grandmother from up north, she can't make it because she is attending a wedding that day.
Is that
Somewhere
popular
up
wedding
in,
days for some reason?
I don't know. I mean, we just kind of said, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, you know, like the things that we care about they're still.
No, you're cutting out. I think you cut out. You're there.
Like we want to marry each other, just we have to compromise everything else.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. You know, there's a point where you're like, get done.
Yeah.
You know.
Just I don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
We'll get the paperwork in, and then we're gonna relax, and we're not.
I mean, still, the most painless part was the marriage license. I'm still in shock about that.
All right, so look up Bobby Quarters.
Yes.
He's got a whole bunch of stuff getting released right now. I actually still need to get caught up because I've been busy with stuff, and I have stuff coming up on Comic-Con. Yeah, look up Bobby Quarters. Look up Organized Chaos. Look up Organized Chaos Podcast. Just look up all the things. Look up the thing you're on right now. Because it's
all the things and the stuff and all the people we talked about.
We've done other episodes. It's worth looking at the other episodes. Yeah, and people I talked about earlier, they're all fairly cool. I'll put links below for them. Yes. Yeah. Everybody have a good day. I'm going to sleep. I
am going to pack and do the same.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job. I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.